Welcome back to the Captain Logan Show. It is I, Captain Logan, and joining me always is my wonderful chat moderator and producer, DJ Martinez.
Yes!
What's up, man?
Oh, that's such an intro.
Get pumped up. It's the Captain Logan Show, man.
I mean, it's the highlight of my week every week.
We're live. There's an audience. They're here to see us dazzle them with answers to more questions for the 158th time.
Never run out of questions here. That is the truth.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, occasionally we get some of the same ones, but it's nuts, the sheer lack of repeat over 158 shows, unless I just have that bad of a memory.
Which, as we learned on the last Marvel Mania, is probably the case.
That is absolutely probably the case. You know what? Ignorance is bliss. If you're me, this show has had a nice amount of versatility and lack of repeats. Welcome, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in to the Captain Logan Show. If you're watching live, thanks for doing it after the fact. If you're doing that, it is our second show for the week. We join you on Tuesday. This is another Ask Me Anything show. We're not going to do a major lead-in topic as far as current news or even a big, topic related to pop culture and stuff goes, although I have news. And I'm going to share my news here in just a couple minutes. Not pop culture news, but personal news. I promise I won't get too personal, but it is a thing that is going to affect my life moving forward in a massive way, and that's why I called the show, and things will never be the same again. Folks probably assumed that had to do with the Snyder Cut, but I don't know how much that's really going to change the world. What's about to happen in my life is going to absolutely change my world, and it will, of course, affect the future of the channel in ways I'm sure as well. So I wanted to go ahead and tell you guys about it on something I found out about just today, and you will be some of the first people to know. There are phone calls I have to make right after this show that I have not gotten to make yet. You might guess, based on all of that, what it might be, and chances are you'd be wrong. So we're gonna talk about that here in just a little bit. If you want to ask a question, if you want to make your voice heard and ask a question or get a topic in on any subject, especially related to pop culture, science fiction, superhero movies, comic books, that sort of thing, feel free to leave a super chat in any dollar amount, and that will guarantee that your topic or question gets read. We are 85 to 90% funded by the audience, and that helps us keep the truck moving, so we do not take that for granted. Anybody that ever does that, if you can't do that or don't feel like it, you can leave pre-written questions in the comment section, and we will do as many of those during the show as we can. Tonight's going to be a shorter show. We'll see you later. Thanks so much for being here. Tonight will be a shorter show, because I have other things to do, somewhat related, or actually entirely related to the news I'm about to give you guys. So we're going to cut off. I'll try not to be too long-winded. We will cut off super chats at 10 till 8 my time, Central Time. So we're going to be taking super chats for the next 50 minutes or so. Yeah, that's what we'll do. And away we go. So before I get into the personal news, let me just do a little bit of house cleaning in shop talk. So tomorrow night is the watch party for the Snyder Cut of Justice League. We're going to be doing that at 7 o'clock Central. DJ and I are very excited about it. DJ made one of the greatest thumbnails of all time for this show. If you've not seen it on social media, it's amazing. And the reason it's the greatest thumbnail happened entirely by accident. And DJ, I've been getting questions about this, so would you mind explaining why that thumbnail looks the way it does?
Are you talking about the pretentious sombrero?
Yes, the pretentious sombrero.
So if you haven't seen it, it's just like a goofy party, pink, bright confetti image with the Justice League all looking all super ominous, because I didn't like how pretentious all the advertising for that's being, so I wanted to take the wind out of the sails, and I just made it bright and pink and colorful, and I put party hats on all of them. But Cap can wear a party hat, I guess, unless his hair's too long. Batman can't wear a party hat because he has these stupid ears way over here, wide on the side of his head, all Frank Miller style. And it was like, it wasn't fitting right, so I had to give him a sombrero. So there's no secret meaning besides Batman having a sombrero. I just needed another goofy party-looking hat. I actually tried like party cowboy hats for a little bit, but then I thought of a sombrero, and I was pretty happy with it because it looks goofy and
It's so
hilarious.
silly. And I saw a couple of comments were like, why is Batman wearing a sombrero? And I think somebody might have been like, well, DJ doesn't really like Batman that much, so he's just, throwing shade at Batman with this goofy sombrero on his head.
Literal shade.
Yeah. If you'd done the party hat, you would have had to make it bigger, and that would have looked stupid. Because Batman has a much larger party hat.
Yeah. So it worked out. It worked out for the best.
I want to ask everybody that has seen the Snyder Cut already to please don't spoil it in the comments tonight. And if you are mean to us and spoil it in a super chat, we will not be reading your super chat. So we always read all the super chats. We're gonna make an exception for this. If you tell us anything, and I mean anything, I don't mean just like what you personally might consider a spoiler. If you tell us you liked that movie or you hated that movie, we will not read your super chat tonight. I don't want to know anything. I don't want to know your opinion. I don't want to know anything. We would have done the watch party this evening in lieu of the Captain Logan show if everybody that wanted to be there for the panel could have made it tonight, but we decided to put it on Friday so that Austin and Brandon could be there. What's funny is Austin's schedule changed. He actually could have been here, but tonight it turns out, but he didn't find out about it until yesterday, so it was, or maybe it was even this morning. I think it was this morning, so it was just, it was such... maybe it was yesterday, but it was such late notice, it didn't make sense to change it at this point because we've been advertising all week long. It's going to be on Friday. So I know a lot of people have already gotten to watch it. A lot of people couldn't wait. Maybe some of you guys are waiting for the watch party tomorrow night. Thanks for doing that if you're doing that. Everybody is welcome, but in that watch party tomorrow night, please also, if you've seen the movie already, don't spoil anything. You're going to be getting our unfettered in the moment reactions and responses to that movie. It's not going to be a full-blown commentary, but we will occasionally probably make, wisecracks and comments and observations, but it won't be a full-blown blind commentary. I'm not going to be doing any analysis as we're watching the movie, because that would be, irritating, and I want to actually take in the movie. And then on Sunday, we're going to be doing the spoiler cast. I will have watched it a second time before then, so folks that are worried that I'll be talking about it just after that first watch, don't worry, I will watch it again, because I say unfettered, I mean, there will be, I'm sure, some comments here and there, so it won't be it won't be just me in the movie. I'll be watching it with people. So that is, that's the major stuff. What else do I need to bring up about channel stuff, DJ? Tomorrow we've got a new Superhero Rewind that I'll post in the middle of the day instead of in the evening as I usually do. So you'll have kind of a twofer tomorrow. But as I've said before, depending on how the watch party goes, I may or may not actually leave that on the channel. So if you don't make that show when it's live, you may or may not be able to watch it later, because it may not make sense as a product. It might just be us all hanging out looking at a thing. So if there's not very much content in that video, and I'm not gonna force that. I don't want there to be too much content. I won't be leaving it up on the channel. DJ, any other news? Anything else we need to talk about?
No, I think you covered it. You got some big news, but the channel, I think you covered the channel.
And the Endgame on Tuesday, Marvel Mania,
yeah.
that commentary. So lots of big stuff going on the channel. So I guess we get into my life stuff. So my life just changed irrevocably. Things will never be the same again, as I put in that title. And Blue Dragon 5 actually did kind of call it. So you can scroll up and see what he said, and you'll know what the news is. So my wife this morning had the ultrasound for our fourth child, and she's been pregnant for 4 months, and but she looks like she's been pregnant for like 6 or 7. She got bigger much faster this time, and which was curious. And we were like, well, maybe that's a good sign, because we really want a girl. And the only reason we tried for a 4th kid was to get a girl. I have always wanted to get to raise a daughter, and I've wanted it for 11 years, and it's never worked out that way. That's why we keep having children. And Sarah's always been indifferent. She is the easiest person in the world to live with, and so much fun to be married to. She always, she insisted on a 2nd kid, and kind of ironically, that was the one I wasn't sure about, where I was like, this first one's kind of a handful. I don't really want it anymore. She's like, we're not going to have an only child, okay? Captain Logan, because my wife calls me Captain Logan. And then she doesn't at all. And then we have our 2nd kid, and after that, once I'd had 2, it was, becoming kind of routine and a pattern. And I was like, well, I didn't get a girl this time, so I really want another one. And Sarah was indifferent, so it was basically just, if you want another one, I'm happy. At any time after a certain amount of years in between, because we wanted to put a certain number of years in between, she's like, if you want to have kids, let's have more kids. So that's what we did. And then Mikey was a boy, and so And we didn't find out the gender with Mikey because we were hoping for a girl, so we thought it would be fun to wait. We were going to wait this time, and then I got really impatient. And the closer we got to the ultrasound, I was going, I really want to know. And Sarah was indifferent to that too. She was like, I don't care. Either way, it's fine. And I was like, well, let's go ahead and find out. So she agreed. And I didn't get to go with her today, which was a bummer because I had to stay home and watch the kids. And you can't, because of COVID, you can't have too many people in a place. And so she went by herself. She went at 7:30 this morning, real early in the morning, and I expected to get a phone call from her to find out the gender at, 8:30, and I don't hear from her until after 9. And I was surprised by that because these things don't usually take that long. And she calls me and she says, well, so here's why I was there late. She goes, first of all, you know how you wanted a girl? I'm like, yeah. She said, well, you got that. And there was like an ellipsis. There was like a coda, and I was like, okay, so this is exciting. My mind is blown. I'm like, yay, I didn't know if this was, I didn't think it would ever happen. I thought, and Sarah has a big family, and there's a lot of people in her family having kids right now. And they've all been boys. We have not been able to break this vicious cycle. And she goes, and I was thinking, okay, she's going to say we're having twins. And when there was more news and she was there that long, and I figured it meant it meant we were also getting a boy. Because like, okay, you're getting a girl, but the consolation is you have to have a boy on top of it. Nope, twin girls. We're having 2 girls. It's freaking crazy. This is my mind I can't get my mind around it. It was early in the morning. I just woken up. I was thinking like, surely this is a dream, right? Nope, it's happening. We're having twin girls. There's no history of twins on either side of our families. Wow. This is statistically very improbable. Getting daughters was statistically very improbable. My brother, because of his wife's family history, has twin girls. So that's a weird thing that now me and my brother have in common. We both will have had twin girls. And I talked to him on the phone all afternoon today, and I haven't talked to Dennis in a long time. It was really fun to talk to him. He's never been on the channel. You guys don't know my brother. He's wonderful. We should have him on at some point. We've always talked about it. We've just never done it. But Dennis has 4 kids, and I've beaten him now. I got 5. And he had girls real early. He had a boy, and then he had 2 girls. And then he had another boy. But like Dennis's, we're having fraternal, not identical twins. And it's gonna be crazy. So I don't know what exactly that means for the future of the channel. Obviously, I'm gonna have less time on my hands, and I don't know how much I'm gonna have to scale back. So no announcements about that yet. Nobody panic. I don't have any intention of shutting everything down if I can help it, but I also don't know what this looks like. I mean, taking care of 2 kids at once is going to be crazy. 2 babies at once on top of everything else I have going on, and 3 children, and I've got a 2-year-old that's very difficult right now, and hopefully he's a lot less difficult by the time the twins are born. Just those words just came out of my mouth for the first time. The twins are born, but I'm having an out-of-body experience on camera right now. This is so very strange. And I apologize to anybody who's not interested in this and is like, you're being too personal, Cap, and why can't we just talk about pop culture stuff? But I thought this would be interesting to people that have been with us a long time, the diehards. And anyway, I appreciate everybody's support over the years as my wife and I have continued to have kids and obviously complicate my life and have more of a personal life. And you guys have always been really patient with me. I do everything I can to balance things and keep the work here going, and I will continue to try to do that. There is every likelihood that I'll have to take a little time off at the beginning, and like I did last year for cancer. This is a much more fun reason to have to take time off. But anyway, DJ, would you like to know the names we're kicking around?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm interested.
And this is not solid yet, but Sarah and I had a conversation right before the show, and it's feeling more or less solid, so this is likely to be what the names will be, or at least it's the top contenders right now. So as a lot of you guys know, we had a horror theme going for a long time. We're not horror fans, but we started with Jason and then we ended up with Freddy, and it was like, well, you got that scheme now, you're stuck with it. So then we had Michael, and that was a name that we happened to both really like, and it fit what that scheme had turned into, because we didn't name Freddy because of the horror film. We named him because Sarah has he's since passed, a great uncle of Freddy, and she just wanted to name him that. And we were like, oh, wait, Jason and Freddy, are we gonna do that? No, of course we're gonna do that. So we did, and then we were like, well, we've got some options. What would we do for the third one if that's the limited scheme? We have to go with Michael. And then If that had been a girl, if the third one had been a girl, then we were gonna go with Carrie, and we weren't in love with that name, but you were kind of stuck. There weren't a lot of great choices, and that was one that people would have recognized. So that was the plan. We were gonna go for Carrie. Now, the Carrie is possibly off the table. In fact, seems actually quite off the table at the moment, because there wasn't a great second girl name in the middle of that scheme, and we were also really excited about just getting to come up with more names again, because we never thought we'd get to do that. This was going to be the last one, we figured. So we thought, well, if you're getting away from the horror theme, then the two girl names should be related in some way. And Sarah and I both came up with names independently, and she came up with a duo that she really liked, and she was smirking all through dinner before we got to this. She was really excited about it. And DJ, the two names that she came up with for the duo were in my top 4 of the 10 I had written. And I was
That's awesome,
really
man.
surprised that and one of them was one I didn't think she'd like. I thought she would veto immediately,
cool.
and it was in her duo. If we do what we're talking about right now, it's going to be a Batman-themed duo. And I'm getting my Birds of Prey thing, you guys, basically. And these were the two she came up with. I had 5 or 6 female Batman names on my list, and these were 2 of the top ones.
So Huntress and... I'm just kidding.
Black Canary! Canary's the middle name. You can't even say your name in YouTube comments or it gets blocked. So one of them was a name that we had actually kicked around for the second one, if that had been a girl, and I've forgotten all about. So we're going to name one likely. This could change, but the plan right now is one will be Cassandra.
Ooh.
And middle name Nicole. And I had forgotten that was the thing we'd come up with before, but like I love the name Nicole, and like my heart melted like butter when she said Cassandra Nicole, and I was like, that's so pretty. Like we have to do that. So Cassandra Nicole, and then the other one is Selena. And that was the name that I thought she would veto, and it was in her top 2. And
wow, that's crazy.
My mind was blown, yeah. And she wants to give her middle name to that one, because my middle name is with Michael. So we have Michael Logan, and then this would be Selena Lynn. And
that's my daughter's middle name.
Oh, really? Cool. I just think they're both really pretty, and that's probably what we're going to end up going with. So this has been my whole day, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. And
I was hoping for Huntress Oracle, but those are wonderful names too.
I can't name my daughter the same name as my cat.
That's true. That's true. Well, hey, my cat's name is Alice, and my daughter's name is Alan, so I mix them up all the time. It's really annoying.
But anyway, I've already wasted over 15 minutes of an hour-long show about this thing. So thanks for bearing with me, everybody, and thanks for your patience. But I just wanted to give you that news. I'm very excited about it. I'm freaked out, but I'm also stoked. Like, it's going to be weird. It's going to be very difficult. I'm a stay-at-home dad. I'm going to have to take care of 2 twins by myself during the day, and I don't know what that's going to be like yet. But Jedi Knight, maybe now I should introduce you to my sons, Thanos and Loki.
That would be amazing. Actually, that's not even... people probably did that. Movies always impact baby names. That's ridiculous.
It's okay to name things after or because you have, been inspired by names in pop culture, but they gotta be... I think, at least for me, I would want them to be regular person names. Thanos is fine for a dog, but not for like a kid. Yeah, and he's gonna get made fun of. Everybody's gonna, nobody's gonna know that Cassandra came from Batman. It's a classy sounding name. It's just a name, and Selena's the same way.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get on the Blue Dragon 5. Yes, more bliss for the captain. On to the real questions. Okay, all right, fine. He's impatient, and that's just
everybody was congratulating you. Everybody's so excited.
Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, I wasn't looking at
the chat.
I wasn't looking at the chat because I just wanted to tell you what was going on. But thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Somebody thought Wanda, never in a million years name my child Wanda.
Wanda Pietra. All right. Mr. Roboto. Oh, so we have one holdover from Tuesday that sneaked in right towards the end. So, Mr. Roboto, $2. Will you form a real-life superhero family team? Which he asked on Tuesday before you had this news, which is amazing. It's perfect.
I mean, now we could unite the 7.
I will design, if you take some nice high-quality photos of all 7 of you, I will design you Justice League posters.
You guys, I'm gonna have 7 people in my immediate family. All right, let's keep going. What's happening, folks? What would you like to chat about?
All right,
Shorter
Game
show this
Station
evening.
3.
Hi there.
Cap, I absolutely recommend you watching Samuel Auten's scene-by-scene analysis of BVS on YouTube. It's really great.
Cool. I appreciate the suggestion. I don't tend to watch a lot of other people's reviews, especially of things that I have reviewed or I'm about to, just because I don't like to be too terribly influenced by other reviewers. It's not that I like stick to my guns and don't allow my feelings to change about things. Far from it, as a lot of you guys know. With BVS specifically, I thought I really liked that movie at the beginning, and I had the same thing with Man of Steel too. But my feelings and opinions morphed as I continued to watch it and think about it. I let people that I talk to influence my opinions all the time. But I've talked about this before, but I always worry about accidentally stealing from people when I'm reviewing. So it's like you get an idea that you forget wasn't yours, and then you don't attribute it, and then it looks like you're plagiarizing, and I don't want to get into that whole thing. And so, I don't know, I like to just kind of naturally and organically let my feelings about things morph, but I'm not against it. I also just don't have a lot of time to like watch other people's reviews of things.
Yeah, plus you're probably all BVS'd out at this point.
That's what Daniel Davis said, yeah.
John Ty, is it better to have...
He said verbatim what you just said. Were you reading his comment, or were you also saying it?
No, that's what I thought when the question first came. I thought that's what you were going to say.
I mean, I am, certainly, but yeah.
John Ty, is it better to have implied character development or drawn out character development within the story?
What do you mean by... I'm not sure if I fully understand the notion of the question. Implied character development versus drawn out. Like, if you're developing a character, it's simply developing a character. I don't know what the difference is really. Like, you can be too explicit in stating things about a character, but I
don't know if he's going for like a show don't tell type thing. That's what he's.
I don't know. I feel like but versus drawn out. Do you mean like how long should it take to? So I also don't know if you mean development or progression, because those are different things. So when you develop a character, you're simply letting the audience in on this real person and making them come alive. You're drawing a character. That's what development is. Progression is the character changes over time. And so if we're talking about character progression, it simply depends on what kind of story you're telling and where the opportunities for change are and how many of those there are and what kind of a story it is in the first place. So you can be much more nuanced in your character progression with something like Star Trek: The Next Generation, for instance, with a character like Data, who does subtly, gradually change over time, but by and large, those are kind of, I don't even know if I want to say archetypes, but those are static characters that aren't allowed to change too much because we're telling singular standalone stories for the most part, and so that show by design isn't letting characters change and grow very drastically, unlike something like Deep Space Nine, which is all about the arcs, and that whole series is a character arc for a number of characters, especially Cisco. But when you're talking about so yeah, like that would be a reason for progression to happen more subtly. But I don't know what you mean when it comes to development as far as being more explicit versus being more subtle.
All right. 5590ERS, quick one. Favorite Tom Hanks movie? Mine is Bridge of Spies, he says.
See, I want to say the Fred Rogers movie just by default because I love Fred Rogers so much and I really, really liked that movie. That's probably actually not my favorite Tom Hanks movie, but I got to think for a minute. I mean, I still love Big. I mean, going all the way back. That's still a wonderful movie, but I guess I wouldn't put it over the Fred Rogers movie. Is that Won't You Be My Neighbor, or is that A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood? Because I always mix them up, because there was a documentary that had, I think it's A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that.
I haven't
that's
seen
that
that one.
I always forget which one. Oh, you got to. It's wonderful. But yeah, I guess that's gonna be my answer for right now. I gotta think of more Tom Hanks stuff. I mean, obviously, I've seen him in a million things.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen him in anything except for the Toy Story movies, so that would have to be
Sure,
my
but
answer.
and Forrest Gump's fine, but it's not like a big movie for me. I mean, I saw it when I was a kid. It's been a really long time. I also liked him in. I liked him as Walt Disney too. I've liked his more recent stuff a lot, but he was Walt Disney in.
Oh yeah, I saw.
Saving
Yeah,
Mr.
I've seen that.
Banks. Yeah.
Saving Mr. Banks. Yeah, that's cool. All right, T-Edge1, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
What was the name of the two girls from The Shining? The twins. I don't know, Tom.
So I had that same question, or that same conversation with Dennis, my brother. He also brought that up, and I was like, "Well, it doesn't matter what their names are because nobody knows what they are." And he goes, "Yeah," and this was just my brother talking. He goes, "Yeah, I know because nobody reads the book. They just watch that stupid Stanley Kubrick movie." That's what Dennis said. He
Amazing.
goes, "To the general public, they're just those two girls that stare blankly in a hallway." So yes, I also don't know what they are, and that would be the reason not to use them no matter what those names are. Let's say they're Cassandra and Selena.
There you go. Nailed it. And then he also said in that same super chat,
Catch Me If You Can is really great. Yeah, and I had to review that a couple months ago on You Made Me Watch with requests. But yeah, and I had seen that before, but yeah, that's a great movie. And has a really fun comics reference with the Flash.
Oh, cool. He says, I bought new wiper blades today. What do you dread most about teaching Jason to drive?
Who was this?
This is still Tom.
Oh, that sounds like a Tom thing, yeah. I was hoping that would be a total non sequitur, which is like, I bought new wiper blades today. If you were a tree, what kind of a tree would you be? So what was the car thing? We have to buy a new car next week now because we're gonna have
you gotta get
a family of 7 people. So the first thing Sarah said was, "So we need to go out and buy a car like immediately." And I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to do that." Anyway, so what was the question?
What is the thing you most dread about teaching Jason to drive?
Well, I don't want to throw Jason under the bus. He's not the most like coordinated and streetwise type kid. He's a lot more of kind of a book smart sort of kid. So I just think
First kids, that's what we're like.
Yeah, well, see, and Dennis said that to me on the phone too. Everything's going back to that conversation I just had with my brother, and I was like, "Hey, now," and he goes, "I didn't mean you," and I was like, "Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You're throwing us all in the same category, sir. You're a middle child, so you think you're perfect." I'm kidding. So yeah, I think it's gonna be braking, right? He's gonna be one of those kids that cannot keep his foot off the brake.
Just
and I get kind of motion sick, so I want to figure out a way to teach him from outside the car. We'll have walkie-talkies
totally
and a megaphone, and
you'll just be running outside. I was gonna make a Sidekicks reference, but I don't know if anyone knows that movie.
Sidekicks? I know what that is. I remember that from the early 90s, but I've never seen it.
Oh, I had it on VHS, rented it from Giant Eagle, never turned it back. Had the green case, which was a grocery store that had movie. Remember when grocery stores had movie rental places in them? Those were the days.
Yeah, you know what? The best movie rental place I ever used was in a grocery store, and it was a 5-minute walk from my house when I was in high school. So I used to walk up there, and I would. This was in circa 01, 02, and they still had. I mean, it felt like they had everything in there, man. Like they had thousands of movies in there. I don't know how they crammed it all into that space. It was crazy, and it was before DVD box sets were as big, so like they were just coming in, and they didn't have any of this stuff. They were all VHS at that point. They didn't have any DVD yet, and they had a lot of TV on VHS, and it was the first time I was watching TV that I didn't tape off TV. So like you could rent X-Files episodes, and that was a big deal back then, even be able to rent TV, you know, outside of like a pilot or something, a couple of episodes, and in I don't know, because I said 01, 02, we were in that house from I think 90, 98 on, so in like 98, 99, they still had all their video game rentals going all the way back, so you could go in there and rent NES games in 99, and that was really cool. I remember renting, before I had a copy, I remember renting Mario Paint from there. The guy behind the counter didn't realize that the SNES mouse was supposed to go with it, so I had to chastise him like you know your video games, and get back there and give him my mouse.
Yeah,
you know? And it was,
man. I had a Wegmans, which is another grocery store in Erie, Pennsylvania, with that that had a video store, and that's where I got. I always kept things like you could like buy them after you rented them, and that's where I got my Power Ranger Zord Fighter was from Wagmans. Still have the weird plastic case they put it in.
You
I
know, I
love that.
still play that frequently. Like, it holds up great. It's still
It's
a really
such a fun game.
fighter. It's not super complicated, but it's essentially a Capcom fighter with Megazords. I mean, that's kind of how it plays. And I've got
The
that
character
on.
designs are awesome.
They're wonderful.
Animation's good.
Yeah, and the music's good, and it's bright and colorful and vibrant. And it's a wonderful game. It holds up great. But I was gonna say I've got that on both of my Raspberry Pi machines, my upright Virtua Fighter arcade that's converted, and then my coffee table arcade, both of which I got last year. And I play it a lot more now because it should have been an arcade game, and it plays great with a stick. So if you ever come over, we'll have to do that because
Dude, I'm down.
you'll play it for 2 minutes and you'll be like, why wasn't it always like this? Like,
Yeah.
playing that
that's
upright it's a trip. It's great.
That's cool.
That was Power Rangers The Fighting Edition, which was a stupid name because it wasn't a different edition of something else. It was just a completely different game from anything they made already. Why is edition in the title?
Who knows? Who knows? We should call this the Snyder Cut Watch Party Edition, even though we've never done anything else like it before.
Oh, tomorrow night we'll just put edition in the title?
Yeah, the Watch Party Edition.
We may do that. And then people will be like, what is that a reference to? An obscure Power Rangers game that you don't know. It's not even obscure.
Show.
If you don't care about Power Rangers, it's obscure. If you don't care about Power Rangers, everything Power Rangers is obscure. Which you could say about most things, but especially Power Rangers. Go ahead.
Connor Nielsen, $4.99. Congratulations! All caps.
Thank you! All me's.
It sounds like your patience. Just got
God.
that. It sounds like your patience for a daughter paid off in twins.
It did.
Good luck with them. I'm so excited for you and your family. So no question, just a sweet comment from my boy Connor.
That. Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Connor. Hi, Connor. I am stoked.
Connor
right
is
now.
a twin.
So
you don't know.
Connor, I didn't. I mean, I wasn't sure if you'd be here or not. I didn't think to message you before the show. I was really excited to see what Connor's reaction would be, and thanks a bunch for putting it in a super chat, man. I just haven't gotten around to messaging all my friends. But I've told Eric. I sent him a message a little bit earlier, but I haven't messaged everybody yet. Anyway, so I got to call some more like major immediate family right after the show. This is happening somewhat backwards, but I just didn't have time. So I've called my dad, but I haven't called my mom yet. So you guys are finding out before my mother. So she's gonna love that. But I'm sorry, Mom. I just haven't had a chance to call you yet. Anyway, so that so yeah. Thanks a bunch, Connor. What I was gonna say is I'm really excited and stoked right now, and I'm sure that I'm gonna be in complete panic. What do I even do mode when we get there? Because with twins, you have to. And my brother was giving me a lot of advice and telling me about this. You have to try to keep them on the same schedule, and out of the womb, apparently they tend to sleep together and eat together and everything. But it is possible to get them off their coordinated schedules, and I imagine it might be even harder for fraternal twins. But I don't know if that's true. But I've been told that if they're identical, they tend to do things more together. But I don't know how true that is because I've never been around a lot of identical twins. So,
yeah. All right, Lewis Cox, £10 super chat. That is awesome news, Cap. We'll be watching the Zack Snyder's Justice League. You could name your twin girls either Carrie and Sarah or Barbara and Wanda.
Well, that's hilarious. So what? Just pick like a Batman thing and then like something from some other comic thing. So one thing I pitched Sarah before she gave me her Batman names, and I had no idea she was thinking in that direction. I should have let her go first. Was naming them after the both of us because it's kind of unusual and not traditional to name your daughter after her mother. But I'm not against it, and I said because Sarah's always been my favorite female name, which is I'm so lucky I got to marry a Sarah because I've always loved Sarahs, and a lot of my favorite fictional characters are Sarah's. And then I met Sarah, and she had that name and was pretty, but more importantly, we got along, and I thought she was really cool. So I got really lucky that this girl that I was falling for was named that. So I was like, well, Sarah, that's always been my favorite name. So we could name one Sarah and one Logan because I like Logan as a girl's name. And it'd be cool if we named them after each other. But then I ended up liking her idea better. So. Yeah. And I don't think she was really into this whole thing. No, Blue Dragon 5, I doubt my mom is watching the show right now. She doesn't usually watch live, so. we're probably good. But yeah, it's just Dad kept me on the phone, and then I did not have time to, like, I had an hour window, and I called my dad, and then I had to eat dinner, and so I don't know. Sorry.
All right. Lewis Cox.
Totally about to call her. I could call her right now. I could call her on the live show.
You could.
I could.
Why not?
Waste everybody's time.
We've been talking about having callers on for the longest time.
I'm not gonna do that.
Lewis gave us another super chat. He says, "For Cap's children, LOL. Here is £5."
Thanks, appreciate it. Feel free to throw a question at me, but I appreciate it.
Thanks to you. Thanks for the children. Philip Kelton, have you seen the Snyder Cut? So you must have missed the beginning.
Thank you guys for allowing me to be so self-indulgent and playing into that, because almost half of the super chats have been about that news, and you guys are wonderful. Thank you. Feel free to talk about anything you want to, guys. So yes, we are watching the Snyder Cut tomorrow night, and I'm not watching it before that watch party because the whole point is to get our reactions in the moment without knowing anything about the movie. And please don't spoil things for me, guys. And folks in the Discord, the public Discord we just started this week. Quick plug again for that. It's still going great. So much great activity in there. Thanks, folks, for keeping that active and lively, and for being being cool to each other. I really appreciate being excellent to each other. I really appreciate it. But please, in the Discord, don't say things about that movie unless you're in a spoiler section. I guess I should make a spoiler channel for the Snyder Cut. I've not done that. I didn't even think of that. I should do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I may do that right now while we're talking.
All right.
Please don't talk about that outside of the channel I'm about to make right now. Please make this channel right now. I didn't tell Connor. I just talked to Connor. I didn't tell Austin. So I wonder if he's gonna watch this stream and find out that way. So there's no After Dark tonight. I meant to mention that too. We're gonna table that for a couple of weeks because we've got so much going on. We're so busy, and I'm behind on a rewind now because I have not been able to work on it today with the crazy news. No Austin, no After Dark tonight. And then I'm just like catching up on my social media right now while we're talking. Okay, what else? What else is going on?
John Kelling, $5, wants to know, Cap, with twins, does this make you the Scarlet Witch? Well, hopefully it doesn't make him that crazy.
So, I mean, inevitably it will, absolutely. I'll just suddenly have this costume
kidnap an entire
that came
town
out of nowhere, and my whole life will be a sitcom. My life's already a sitcom. Sarah and I were talking about that just the other day. So, it was very weird that a show about twins happens right before I find out that I'm having twins. And then last night I'm watching a Friends episode, spoiler alert for that show, in season 8, where Rachel finds out that, because she finds out she's pregnant in that season, and she finds out that she's having a girl. And I messaged Austin, and I was like, this is a potentially good omen. Like, I just watched a Friends episode that happened to be about somebody who's pregnant finding out the gender of their kid. What are the odds of that? Surely I'm having a girl. And then the universe goes, nah, you're having twins. So Snyder Cut spoiler cast. Feel free to keep throwing them at me, man.
Yeah, Dajuan Patterson Powers just in the regular chat said, "Will the Snyder Cut be your longest stream?"
I think it's
my
Dewan.
friend.
I think it's Dewan. I've been saying Dewan this whole time. I'm almost positive that that's how that's pronounced, but I could be wrong.
I will do it that way until told otherwise.
Yeah,
but,
he may not care. He may, because we both said it. I mean, Andrew Bass, I said bass forever and still say bass, and he never said anything.
Dewan makes sense if it's a Hispanic name, because it's Juan. Yeah. But yeah, no, because this man has done a crazy, insane 24-hour stream.
Yeah, but spoiler cast wise, who knows? I mean, I don't know how long we'll go that night. I can't tell you before I've seen the movie because I don't know what's in it. So I mean, yes.
I think he said it will be the longest. I think he's talking about the watch party.
Oh, he's talking about the watch party. I thought he said spoiler cast.
He just said the longest stream. Will the Snyder Cut be the longest stream?
Oh, I see what you mean. I see. Because we're doing 2 streams on the Snyder Cut this weekend, and
we are. Both will be live. And
yeah,
someone did ask if they'll be on YouTube.
No,
yes, Ben Lutz, the watch party will be on YouTube.
It will be here on YouTube, yeah. But yeah, if you're so you'll have to sync with us, of course. So try to be there on time if you can, and we'll I'm sure we won't start right away. It'll be probably 10 or 15 minutes after the hour, but try to be here on time. And then, but we'll give you a timestamp if you need one. But yeah, it will be one of the longer streams we've done, but nothing like the longest. Because yes, we've done the 24-hour stream, but then Dan and I did like a 3 or 4 hour stream when I was in Boston a couple of years ago, and like yeah, we've done lots of long streams.
Because we're crazy here at Evolution. TH1. So, is it a superhero team now?
Sure. Are you talking about
Your family?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Philip Kelton,
Dagon
name that.
Spear. Okay, once again, I guess some folks are coming in late. So the watch party is tomorrow night at 7 Central. That's when the watch party is. We're going to watch the Snyder Cut. We're going to have an intermission 2 hours in. We're going to start the stream as close to 7 as possible. We're often a couple minutes late. Sorry about that. We're going to start at 7. It'll probably be, maybe 10 minutes after the hour. Try to be there on time if you can. And then middle of the movie, we'll take an intermission. And just wherever the 2 hour mark is, after a scene, we'll take an intermission. And then we'll come back and finish the rest of it. And then Sunday is the spoiler cast. Also at 7 Central time. Yes.
I am going to read the last super chat we have now is another
Pop in, it's going to be fun.
Twins question. Philip Kelton, name them Megatron and Optimus Prime.
But they're girls. That's even better if they're girls.
Those aren't good names for boys.
I would be more likely to name girls that just because it's so ridiculous.
Megatron. That's an amazing girl's name.
This is my lovely daughter, Megatron.
All right, let's jump back to some pre-written.
Nobody's going to want to date her. I have that going for me.
It's terrible.
Nobody's going to date Megatron. Who are you taking to prom?
They'd probably just call her Meg, so it would work.
There's this. Oh, that's awesome. Well, there's this knockout I've had my eyes on. What's her name? Megatron.
Megan Muss.
Meg? What would you shorten Optimus to?
Muss.
Muss? This is the dumbest stream in a while.
I blame you and your
I blame you,
exciting
Pikachu.
news.
Okay. So last call for super chats. We'll take super chats for the next 5 minutes, and then if we get any more, we'll go ahead and answer them. For now, we'll go back to pre-written, and we will be ending here in about 15 minutes.
Okay, so
Jedi Knight, I would date a Megatron. I mean, I would too. What are you gonna do?
Who wouldn't?
OAW, you should be a badass, though. Exactly. Like, you'd have to. You'd have to. Well, and so here's what my dad wanted. My dad, because my dad goes for crazy names that, in my opinion, again, suit dogs but not children. And he goes, you should go for Vulcan names. I went, Vulcan? So you want my daughters to be named T'Pau and T'Pring? And he goes... And he hadn't even thought of the specific names. He goes, okay, now that I've heard them, that's at the top of my list. Now, you guys do whatever you want, but T'Pau and T'Pring is my vote. And I'm like, Dad, we already homeschool, and that's not because of the virus thing. We always homeschool. But I said, if you name your daughters T'Pau and T'Pring, you have to homeschool. That's what I told him. Couldn't send them to school. Okay, what else?
All right, CH1 put in another super chat to clarify his last one. He said the hero name theme. Sorry, I misspelled that.
Yeah, well, so we're not going to have any more kids after the daughters. So the daughters have a Batman, female character theme with those two. Yes, that's the theme, Tom. Yep.
Yeah, but no more. He's cutting it off here.
Yeah, no reason to keep having kids. I wouldn't think. I mean, I never want to say never, but I mean, I've got a big house now, but I think that's about what it can accommodate.
Got to move again, and you just moved. You just bought a car. It's crazy.
And we're just about to have to buy another car, and a bunch of other stuff too. Like we're gonna have to buy bunk beds, and there's a lot. That's about to have to happen here, and we're about to put a big playground in the backyard. We've got a cool playground picked out that we've been saving up for, that we had money for ready at December, but we couldn't build when it was 10 degrees outside. So
wow, that's awesome. I'll have to come over and play on it.
Sure. You mean bring your kids over and play on it, right?
Oh, I mean that's the reason I had kids. So
okay, yeah, fair enough. Sure.
Rohit Tahar, pre-written. 2 questions for Captain DJ. Which
Yeah.
upcoming MCU movie are you most excited for, and why? And then
Well,
same for the Disney Plus shows.
Yeah, well, Disney Plus, it is Falcon Winter Soldier, which we're getting starting Friday. And quick plug for how we felt about for that, or a mention of what we're doing with that. Because we have so much going on this weekend, we're not going to be able to weigh in on that right away. So we're going to do a how we felt about on the first 2 episodes I've decided the week after. I say we, anybody I can get to pop in with me for that. Connor, Austin, DJ, all of the above. Hopefully not me by myself, but Connor usually does those with me at least. So we're gonna watch the first 2, and me and whoever else shows up, and do a spoiler or possibly a spoiler cast on those episodes for you, but at least how we felt about them.
Cool. For me, it's Hawkeye. Super pumped for Hawkeye. Love Hawkeye. Love the whole Fraction story that they're pulling from, and I love Haley Steinfeld because I've been watching Dickinson with her on it on the Apple TV Plus, and she's great. So looking forward to her being Hawkeye.
OAW, that's interesting. He says eventually those kids are going to want their own pets. I know I did. My kids, so far, we've had dogs for 2 years, and I've had a cat, or 3 years now, and I've had a cat for a year. They don't seem to really be that possessive of the pets. It's kind of just communal. So it's some of them gravitate more towards certain animals than others, but it's not like, that's my dog and that's my cat and that's that sort of thing. So I'm hoping that you're wrong. I don't think that'll happen. But... Oh, thanks, Connor. Appreciate it, buddy.
Connor will be
we
there.
hadn't talked about that yet, and I didn't want to just, recruit you on camera and be like, Connor will be there. Connor's got a life too, man. Maybe he can't be there, but thanks, Connor. I'm hoping you can make it.
He's too busy being a twin himself.
That's right. Yeah. God, now I'm gonna get to see firsthand what that whole thing's about.
T-Edge 1.
Oh, my life is weird. My life was already weird, and now it's just
Okay.
very, very strange.
Cap is still processing this,
I
guys.
can't
He just found out today, so
It's not supposed to be possible.
It's not possible.
That's not possible.
T-Edge 1. Is there a Freddy in comics / a hero?
I don't know, Tom. Why are you so concerned about the scheme here, buddy? We got 3 horror people and we got 2 Batman people. Let's move on, man.
He's trying to make it work.
Thanks
for
the super chats and stuff. I appreciate it, man. But yeah, it's real simple, man. They don't all 5 have to fit together. It's fine because at the end of the day, I like the names we picked, and that's what most matters.
I see.
Fighter, you asked for this. I mean, I did. Rohith says we forgot to answer the first question. What was the first question?
The first part was what MCU movie are you most excited for?
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, I got stuck in the weeds there with the TV show thing.
Yeah.
So let's name. So we got Black Widow. That's not it. I'm not super excited about that. I hope it's great, of course. But
Eternals,
which I'm curious about, but. Shang-Chi, I'm curious about,
Shang-Chi.
But I'm not, the biggest martial arts buff. You're probably more excited about that than I am.
Yeah, I'm excited for Shang-Chi. I'm bummed that they're not using his villain. They're using Mandarin. So hopefully that works. I don't like that, but
everybody's
we'll see.
And it's like everybody has to fight Iron Man's villains right now, or other villains have to be turned into Iron Man villains, like we did with Mysterio. And I love Mysterio, but he was basically fighting Spider-Man because Iron Man wasn't around for him to get revenge on. Right?
Yeah, because my dad's a huge Shang-Chi fan. He had all the comics growing up, big collection. And
I didn't know
showed him
Shang-Chi had fans by himself.
I sent him the picture, and he was like, Mandarin. I don't know, Mandarin that's not a Shang-Chi villain. I remember. I'm like, he's not. Nope, he's not.
What sucks is if your dad was that big of a fan and your dad could go, here's Shang-Chi's Rogues Gallery, and then Marvel goes, we're not going to do our research, so I guess Shang-Chi has no Rogues Gallery. I don't know. Now, I say they're not doing their research. I've been hearing more and more that Feige knows his stuff, and he will take comics that he thinks are really important for a showrunner or a filmmaker to look at, and he'll send them their way, and it's up to them whether or not they're going to read them. And apparently that happened with the showrunner for WandaVision, where he gave her a bunch of stuff, and she didn't read any of it. She just didn't want to, and that's what I've read anyway. So that show looks like it's got a bunch of reverence for comic stuff, but apparently Feige himself, and I don't know if there was any producer involved that also did this, but got that stuff worked in there, but not because the showrunner knew anything about the comics. So I don't want to blame Feige or Marvel at large for that, because it's a catch-22, right? Because you don't want them to micromanage too much, but at the same time, you kind of wish that those things knew the source material, even if they're going to depart from it. And it's smart to know your stuff, because apparently I forget her name. Apparently what happened with her was she was surprised that people called certain twists as early as they did that she wouldn't have been surprised by had she known the source material. So, like, even if you're going to depart from it, you ought to look into it a little bit. I had Eric over yesterday, and when I told him about that, his brain exploded.
Yeah, I could see Eric being really mad about that.
His brain. I said, I warned him too. I was basically like, "You're going to want to sit down for this." And...
Yeah, I mean, if they don't want to look at comics and they make something great, I'm totally fine with that. But yeah, I understand people's opinion on that. John Kelling, $5. I know you just recently finished a bajillion-word essay. I never seen that word spelled. Dissecting BVS, but
I surely did.
But try to explain Lex's plan, even after Batman steals his kryptonite. Put me on the spot.
I don't want to. I've already done that. I did that for 5 hours. Why do I have to do that? So I have to try to explain Lex's plan after Batman steals the kryptonite?
Even after that. So that he's giving you a little grace there. He's like, you don't have to explain the first part, but even after that, it still doesn't make sense. Try to explain it.
So can I answer that by telling you sort of what it should have been? If I'm making that movie, and by the way, I want to do a fan edit, and I've never done a fan edit. I said this in the rewind. I want to do a fan edit of BVS and change some scenes around. And one of the things I would move is I would have Lex not get access to the ship until after Batman steals his kryptonite. So that is a like new B plan that he comes up with in the moment, and we can tell that he is improvising and coming up with new things as time goes on. So he goes, okay, I had a plan. I was going to take kryptonite and I was going to kill Superman with kryptonite. Or I was going to frame Superman first and make him look terrible, forgetting that he wants them to fight, because I don't understand that before the kryptonite, and that's why he said that, because that makes no sense. He very clearly set it up, especially looking at it with a fine-tooth comb as I did. Lex very clearly wanted Batman and Superman to fight before he even knew what kryptonite was. It doesn't make sense. But when you get to, and he set it up so that both of them would go after each other, and I don't know why he wants that, and it didn't matter anyway, because they would have fought even if he didn't do that. It does not make sense. But then, the big question mark after that even is, well, he's got the ship, but I don't know why in the first place he wanted the ship, unless he wanted to... Why am I talking about this again? Unless he knew he wanted to build Doomsday in the first place as a contingency or something. But even if that were the case, how would he know that he could use the ship in order to make Doomsday? Because why would anybody know anything about that ship? And when he goes into it, he doesn't say, hey, Kryptonian computer, how do you make a Doomsday monster? He said, tell me everything. And then after 5 minutes, apparently, of listening to the computer talk to him, he goes, hey, there's this top secret information that this computer gave me in the first 5 minutes about this, like, Doomsday weapon they had on Krypton. Let's make one of those. I can't explain his plot after that. His plot is... the script needs these things to happen, and retroactively, here's how he got us there. That's what it is. It's that simple. Like, I can't explain it because it doesn't come from a character place. It's all retroactive, and it's the worst of these retroactive master manipulation plots that I've ever seen. Even including Maman from Spawn. I think it's even worse than that, because he's like... because the script says, I need a Doomsday monster at the end of the movie. How am I going to get that? And the script says, I need Batman and Superman to fight. How am I going to make that happen? The script says, I need the whole world to hate Superman. How do I make that happen? Lex is a plot device to make each of those happen, while we're pretending like he's being brilliant to get us there. I can't explain it. It's not possible. And I spent 5 hours trying already, scripted and more articulate than I'm being now, while looking like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
Yes. Perfect. At the end of the watch party tomorrow, he's going to shave his head and he's going to go ding, 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 ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding. That second part is very likely.
Blue Dragon 5, Cap and DJ, what is your ideal donut of choice?
we're at the bottom of the box is where we're at right now. So DJ, let's give the show 5 more minutes, man. I'm looking at our runtime right now, and we've been at 55 minutes, so we'll give it 5 more minutes. My donut of choice is a filled Long John. Usually like Bavarian cream filled. That's what I like.
Bavarian.
Nice. Do you have a donut of choice? You probably don't eat donuts.
I haven't had a donut in so long, but I think what am I saying? Krispy Kreme, that's generic.
Oh, you're welcome, John. I'm glad you enjoyed that rant about a thing that I spent a million years ranting on. A lot of people are calling that review a rant. They're like, wow, Kat made a 5-hour rant.
If you ever visit Erie, Pennsylvania, right on Lake Erie at the very tip chimney of Pennsylvania, Mighty Fine Donuts is the best donut place in the world. Just like melt in your mouth. Light and airy, they're so good. We used to get cream filled from there, and it was super, super nice. We just got a super chat, a $15
There was a kid, let me say this real quick. There was a kid, do you know about this? There was a kid's like Fox live action horror series that was kind of like a Goosebumps knockoff, but starring like the same characters every week, called Erie, Indiana. That just came to me. You remember that?
That would be the first. I don't know. I think that's probably the most famous Erie because of that. We're the second famous Erie, even though we have one of the Great Lakes. But yeah, not in Indiana. Mighty Fine is in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Erie, Indiana.
From Dewan Patterson Powers, $14.99. How powerful would you like Superman to be in technology advanced? Should Batman be in mind? Well, hold on. There is no punctuation. Superman to be in technology advanced. Should Batman...
I've been wrong this whole time. It's not Dewan. It's Dejan.
Dejan. Okay.
Thank you. Dejan. So Dejan. So sort of like mustard. I'm sure you've never heard that before. Dejan. Okay, so he wants to know how powerful Superman should be in what, a technologically advanced society, or if Batman's technologically advanced?
Yeah, how powerful would you like Superman to be, and technology advanced should Batman be?
Okay, separate questions.
Yeah.
Good timely question though after the BVS 5-hour rant and getting into Justice League. Yeah, good question. So I much prefer a Byrne level Superman. So John Byrne, when he revamped Superman in the 80s, the post-crisis Superman, he was no longer juggling planets, and it was a lot more specific about what his power set really was, and he was limited to where he couldn't do like crazy cosmic type stuff, but he was still powerful enough that you would go, if this guy wanted to rule the world, he could. Like, I want it to be in there. And I guess I'd say pretty much as powerful as he's been since then. Like, I think, it changes here and there, and we're never real consistent, even within the same continuity, as far as like how fast can he go, or how far does his X-ray vision extend. We play real fast and loose with super hearing, especially in the Snyder stuff, where it's like, he can hear anything he wants to from like half a world away, and he is able to be that selective. Even Superman and Lois has him that selective, but it's a little bit more consistent about what he's actually able to do, which I like. But all those things have him, pretty darn powerful. I would honestly like him to be a little bit less powerful even than that, I think.
Yeah. I would remove the heat vision, and I would remove the ice breath, because there is a great scene in Man of Steel where Jor-El is explaining his powers, and he explains them all in relation to humans, but they're just amplified by the sun. So I can give him flight, because that's like Superman's thing.
We can jump.
I would like him to be super strong.
But you could even say flight is an augmentation of something we can do already, sort of. It's a stretch, but you could get there.
Yeah. So I like him to be super strong. I like him to be super durable. I like him to be see really far, hear really far. But heat vision comes out of nowhere. Like it's not just an augmentation of us. It's like just a new thing. So I would remove those two.
Okay, but freeze breath is at least still an augmentation of something you can do already. Like, you can blow.
But our breath is hot. I can't make my breath cold.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
But I would give him super breath. Like he can blow really hard if he wants to, like
Just
move
not
stuff.
freeze breath. I see.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
That's
and,
what I would like him to be. He's never gonna be that. But
and like, is X-ray vision okay? Just because it's still
yeah,
vision?
because seeing that's I can explain that comic booky, like seeing through things. It's still seeing. So that's what I would think. That's what I thought when I saw Man of Steel.
Like that.
Oh, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I like that a lot. And then how technologically advanced should Batman be? I don't want him to be Tony Stark. We're getting to the point where Batman has to have like the most cutting edge, futuristic type technology. And you could say, to be fair, going all the way back, that he very often had things that were a little bit sci-fi-ish. We've gone too far with that. Once we get to a place where Batman can like 3D render the whole city and walk through it and that kind of thing, I think we've maybe gone a little bit too far with Batman. Like I said, I don't want him to be Iron Man, but he needs gadgets and stuff. It's sticky in a modern a modern context. Honestly, if I were telling Batman stories, I would cheat and I would always have them set in if not a period piece, if not setting them in the past, I would always set them in a ambiguous time period that is sort of like now, but I would conveniently get rid of technologies that make Batman stories less interesting. Because Batman as a detective is just not as much fun as it used to be, because so much of the technology is available to all of us now, and it's a lot more fun to see Batman, being a genius detective, but like I said, I don't want him to be like a genius mechanic or anything. In a period where all that information is not available to you. Batman with the internet does not mix the best. But wonderfully, Superman can exist in any era, because the technology stuff does not ruin anything that's great about Superman. I mean, he can be around in any era at all. I don't feel the need to go. And a lot of what's really funny is, people want to go backwards with Batman because the technology is too makes things too easy for him. People want to go backwards with Superman because they think that the world is too cynical and Superman can't exist in it, and I don't believe that. So I think Superman can fit in any period even better than Batman can.
Yeah, the internet kind of ruined detectives, right? Like, because now in TV shows and movies, everyone's a detective. Like, Darcy's like hacking, even though she's a scientist, like an astrophysicist, she's like hacking into the Sword's computer and like discovering things.
And we're basically saying that, and like we had this with Felicity Smoke and Arrow. It's like, if you're great with computers, you're a brilliant detective now. Those two things are synonymous now in a way they didn't used to be. Okay, do we have more super chats?
We have 2 left. I'm gonna rush through them.
Okay, so I did the last call for those already.
Type?
I'm going to ask no more of those get put in. We're already past the time I wanted to be at. I will answer these 2 super chats, and then I have to get going.
Okay. What's your favorite type of character?
I'm having a great time, and I wish I had more time, but I really need to go spend some time with my wife and talk to her about all the madness from today. So,
madness.
Man, Day John, that's going to take a while. Okay, go ahead.
Favorite type of character arc for Maniac Madness 11?
Oh, just in general. Goodness. Okay, so yeah, I mean there are broad categories of character arcs. You have things like the coming of age story, and you have the redemption story, et cetera, et cetera. I think, and like a lot of people are, and those are 2 of the most common. There's certainly a lot of others. There's like arcs where people fall in love, and you put me on the spot. I should be able to name 5 or 6 of these off the top of my head. There's several. I think it is the redemption arc for me, though. Certainly, you have the hero's journey arc, which I talk about all the time. So it's probably between those 2 things. I think you can do those both at the same time too. But yeah, your fall from grace to redemption, I think that's probably, yeah. You have and those 2 things are related, not always the same story, right? You have the fall from grace, which is the tragic arc, and then that character could then have a redemptive arc. And some people go more for the fall from grace, but I think I'm probably more about the redemptive arc. Yeah. Good question. Great question.
Okay, this is about the Snyder Cut, but it's not talking about it, so I'm going to read it. John Kelling, $5.
Well, how can it be about it, but not about it? That's what we in the field call it's paradoxical.
Sorry, it's about it. It mentions the Snyder Cut, but it doesn't give anything away. What do you personally hope to see story-wise from the upcoming Snyder Cut watch party tomorrow? Looking forward to it, and again, congrats on the twin girls.
That's hard to say. I mean, I'm expecting a lot of things not making sense again, like with BVS, and I'm expecting to like love the look of it and maybe the score and some moments. But yeah, I've honestly not given that a great deal of thought. Like, I feel like I know too much about it already, and I've tried to be really careful not to noodle it too much, and I just want to be surprised by it. I really don't want to think about that. You gave me the super chat, so I will answer the question, but I haven't let myself think too much about, gee, I wonder what's going to be, especially because it's not going to keep going, and it supposedly ends on a cliffhanger, and even if it doesn't, it contradicts things that are already in the DCEU that it's not canonical with. Because, I mean, we're watching a non-canonical thing that they abandoned years ago. I mean, that's what this is. So, it's going to be difficult to be invested anyway, because it's a thing that's... Like, I don't want to make a big deal out of continuity, DJ, but it's in the middle of a greater whole that never finishes. How can you be too invested in it? It's a chapter of a story that they never are going to get to make unless Warner Brothers changes its mind about what they've already told Snyder. So, I guess I just hope that the Return of Superman stuff is interesting and as plausible as it can be and less lame than it is in the theatrical cut. I assume it will be that. And I would love to believe Superman coming back from the dead and actually being my charismatic Superman. That's what I would love. Beyond that, story-wise, I don't know, story-wise, it's more just like elements, right? Like, I want Steppenwolf not to totally suck, and I want Darkseid to be there more than I know he's going to be, and that kind of thing. But it seems like he's more involved than I expected him to be, because we got to see Omega Beams in a trailer, and I didn't expect that. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I thought he would stand there for 10 seconds and possibly just in a flashback. So, maybe the Omega Beams are also in a flashback. Although, I talked to Austin about this the other day, and I was like, I was initially really, I don't know if I want to say impressed, but like surprised by Omega Beams and going, well, at least they know that's a thing Darkseid does. I never thought I'd get to see that in live action, so, or at least not for a long time. So so that's cool. But then I had this thought. That is a really easy thing to throw in retroactively if you want to. Maybe that was always there, but have you had this thought, DJ? You know how Darkseid uses his Omega Beams? He puts his hands behind his back and he stands there. And then they just shoot out of his head, and he makes no expression, and he doesn't move his head or anything. And I mean, like, in comics and in, I just do the whole show like this. Like in comics and in, like, Superman the Animated Series and things like that. So you could take footage that you already have of rendered Darkseid and just put Omega Beams there, and we'll buy it because he's not supposed to move when he does that.
Who knows? Hey, all answers will be answered tomorrow. It's going to be a fun night.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, I hope it's great. But if it's not great, I hope it's entertaining.
Yeah, it'll be fine. We'll be watching it with.
And I hope it's less of a slog than BVS was. But it's 4 hours. And
it's twice the slog.
I have been trying to, well, not quite twice, because the cut that I had to review was 3, so it's only a quarter longer. Even the theatrical cut was longer than 2 hours.
Hey, I'll say this. The ultimate cut of Watchmen is like one of my favorite superhero movies. I'm going in hoping that this could possibly be one of my favorite superhero movies. I'm not going in just expecting like I want to bash it and hate it. Yeah, I don't want to hate it. I want to love it. But I don't love the theatrical version. So we'll see. Hopefully it changes my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying. I'm not going in excited to bash the thing unless it's fun and bashable. It's just, because I mean, I can enjoy a thing on that level too. It's just that as pretentious as some of the imagery and stuff in that looks and the way Snyder's been talking about it, the mentions of reviews that I haven't been able to get around because, I mean, I've tried not to see anything, but there've been, not calling anybody out, but there's been some people that have posted in the Discord. I haven't been able to get away from, certain reviews and things. Everybody is saying that if you're a big Snyder person, you're going to love it, and that tells me more of the same, like, what are you going to do? And I'm also hearing it shouldn't have been 4 hours long. I mean, these are all, things that you said about BVS, that most of us said about BVS, so anyway. Yeah. Dejan, this is for DJ. The heat vision is from the solar absorption. Well, there's that.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it's still like I still want it to be like he's a Superman. Like he has man's abilities, but just super eyes. That's the cool explanation for it. But it still doesn't fit with like.
But I like the idea that if you were a solar battery, you can shoot that energy out someplace. I never thought
Yeah,
about it that way. That's the
cool.
reason.
If they showed it like that, like Smallville actually does this well. Everything else shows it like as laser beams.
Smallville has the best heat vision in anything.
Smallville looks great. Even in the Snyder cut, the trailer, he's shooting like red laser beams,
and it doesn't look like it's really there either. I don't like the effect in the Snyder movies. In that's one thing I have to give Smallville is they made it look like the distortion effect that you get when you look at a gas-powered grill.
Yeah, or when
That's
you're
what
like,
it looks like
on the street on like a hot summer day and you look and there's like that
exhaust.
Yeah, like that's cool.
It's cool. John Kelling, $2 super chat. That calls back to something we talked about on Tuesday. My son told this joke where he was like, I don't like the original Superman theme, Dad. Where it's like, no, that's not cool. No, the Superman theme I want to go around and hum is,
just thinking about someone washing dishes, just just doing that one is amazing.
Like all you have in your head is a timpani at that point. Like, and again, I love that score. Don't get me wrong, but it's a really ambient score, and so that's a great joke.
Yeah,
it's a great
between
joke.
that, between the ship like mechanical sound, between the piano score, like that whole score is amazing. The flying track.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. Really hope you had a good time with us. We really enjoyed it. I'm sorry I can't stay later, but thanks for all of the participation and the questions and the best wishes, and you guys are great. I am really excited about the crazy personal news I've got today. If you came in late, my wife is having twins. We just found out this morning. It's nuts. I was hoping for girls. I'm getting twice what I asked for. I'm getting 2 girls now, and that's going to be at the end of July or early August. With twins, you tend to get them earlier, so I have to assume that it's going to be like 2 or 3 weeks early. And Mikey was 2 weeks, so this might even be more than that, but you know.
All right, man. August are both my babies were born in August, so it's a good month.
Yeah, well, and what sucks is because it's probably going to be early now, there's no chance at them being born on my birthday now. So that sucks. My birthday's August 12th, and the due date was like August 1st or 2nd. Like, it was really close to that. And I was like, well, if it's late, maybe there's no chance now.
Yeah, they won't be late. They'll have to do. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Central is when the watch party is. Pop in for it. Please don't tell us anything. Watch it with us. We're going to have a great time. We'll occasionally read comments as we go along. Don't ask big, long, wordy questions because we're not going to have time to answer them. We're just going to be reading reactions to things going on. Hey, that's cool. Or, huh? Or, okay. Those will be the kinds of comments we'll be reading. So, anyway, thanks a lot for watching. It'll be a party before it's a commentary, so don't expect insight, because that's not what that will be about. It's us all having a good time together as the community that we are. We're all friends. We're all going to have a good time together, and there will be beer, but just for me.
Bring your sombreros.
You'll have to bring your own, because you're not in the bunker. I wish that we could get a bunch of people down here. That would be the best, but for lots of reasons, that can't happen right now. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. And we will see you again tomorrow. Bye, folks!